welcome to the Banter podcast, in person, not in my garage. We got Brennan and Kyle here. What's up, guys?
What's up, Korey? How are you doing, man?
I'm doing fantastic. I'm so excited.
I'm excited to be here, yeah.
I'm so excited. This is going to possibly be our setup for a couple weeks here.
Hopefully.
So I'm liking it.
Continue to use it. Yeah, nice and comfortable, disregarding all the alcohol behind us.
And this screen. Well, if we
I wouldn't now. You got to press pause here.
Oh my gosh, there's so much happening right now. Well, the reason why that was there,
handsome gentlemen.
The reason why that was there is because Brennan thought this was a brilliant idea.
It's brilliant.
Which it was kind of, but not really. Anyway, let's get into the
questions. Just got to be paying attention to the
TV. It's really Corey's fault.
Just blame the moderator on everything.
All right, yep. So I'm the moderator again today. We're going to change up the format a little bit next week, but first we're standard things. We got a lot of news this week in professional sports. So a lot of headlines. I do feel like we're a little bit behind on some of the headlines, but at the same time, I like that we've gotten a little bit of time to breathe, let it breathe, and now we're going to talk about it. So I'm excited. Ready to go?
Sure, right. Why not?
Let's do it.
All right. Your 25 minutes and 30-second question time start now. All right, first headline of the week, the NBA in-season tournament championship game. The Lakers won. They brought in the most viewers of any non-Christmas Day regular season game in over 6 years, up 64% from last year's Saturday primetime season average. Is this popularity sustainable? If not, what do you think is the lifespan of the in-season tournament's fame at the moment?
He's running a lot.
All right.
I just put this.
Okay, all right. So let's see Kyle first. Your 35-second claim starts now.
Okay, so initially I was not a big fan of the in-season tournament. I thought it was kind of stupid because I thought if you wanted to reward them for winning the entire thing, I thought the reward would just be not enough for it to be worth it or too overpowered. Like I thought that the reward for it could be like you get a spot in the playoffs, but like getting a spot clinched in the playoffs in December would be really crazy. Because you could have like a 15-win team, they would just start just not have anyone else play. I think I got around to it though. I think the players did as well. Yeah. Okay.
All right, and Brennan, you seem to disagree. What do we got for you?
So I don't disagree with Kyle completely. I do think that the NBA in-season tournament is sustainable. What I mean by a couple more years is that the viewership is not going to be up 64% for the remainder of this tournament, right?
Sure.
I'm kind of comparing it to like one of those European soccer cups, like the FA Cup or like the Super Cup or whatever. All those different tournaments they have going on over there. I think it's going to end up very similar to that. I will say though, it was a huge success, and it allowed stars. Len, you could come me out for that?
No, I'm just telling you, you're almost done.
All right. And it allowed superstars like Tyrese Halliburton to show the media who he really is.
All right. Seems like we're going to agree quick. Let's
go. I kind of more in depth in my question. I kind of just said it's going to work until it doesn't.
That's what I'm kind of saying.
Yeah.
It's going to work until it doesn't. I mean, like I said,
which sounds stupid.
64% is not going to be sustainable, especially for a tournament like this. And as a casual NBA fan, I mean, the only reason I really followed it, if I'm being honest here, was because of the Indiana Pacers.
Yeah, the Pacers.
Okay,
I thought it was overall. I think it's sustainable, but not at this level.
Sure. Yeah, I think unless in a few years' time where there will be issues that come up for it, I don't see why they have to change anything with it. I'm fine with them repeating the same sort of format. And we discussed this last week.
Yeah, we did. And what changes do you need?
What changes? What do you need? But I think right now, I honestly disagree with you guys at that point because I was like, I think the point is that it's only an exclusive amount of teams. And you want to talk about the European leagues where it's like it's only X amount.
Well, I know, but there's a lot more teams that make it in the European leagues, though.
Okay, so do you guys agree that it's sustainable as is?
For the foreseeable future, I think yes.
I think for maybe the next
10 years.
5-10 years.
Yeah.
All right, cool. That's one agreement. All right, let's go to the next question. Before we hit the next headline, we're talking about viewership. Let's talk over to the NHL. NHL viewership is reportedly rising on all networks this season. Why?
Here.
I hate the NHL. I don't hate the NHL. But why is it rising?
I gotta erase this. I wrote too big. That's not really ideal here.
10 seconds.
All right.
All right, let me see them.
Okay.
All right.
I said.
All right.
I think that's an agreement,
All right.
right?
We'll spell it back if you want.
I know. Well, I had on my notes and I spelled it right.
Yeah, so they have very similar answers here. Let's talk for a minute.
I think I can start here.
Yeah.
So I actually am a big among us three. I'm definitely the biggest fan of hockey here. They're like the way that they presented hockey before ESPN got them, I believe last year, was awful. It was NBC, and they had some great people surrounding it, but like unless you were watching NBC and stuff like that, you were not getting hockey.
Yeah.
At all. Like at no point. Like ESPN as a whole on their social media was not posting hockey. And now
especially with Stephen A. Smith and the comments he made last year about
with saying it's not a sport or whatever.
It's not a sport,
Yeah.
But now with Pat McAfee especially, I mean the dude loves hockey. He has a couple hockey segments, and like before the first game of the season, he interviewed Connor Bedard, one of the best generational hockey player we've seen probably since Connor McDavid. He's doing a huge favor for the sport of hockey, and he is on ESPN.
I mean, yeah.
And like he's bringing a whole nother audience to it too. I mean, most people who watch his show, football fans, because he played in the NFL, but he's from Pittsburgh. He grew up loving the Penguins.
You got that Penguins.
He got the Penguins.
Cut off.
He grew up in the 2009, the Stanley Cup championship. So he already loves hockey. I know he loves hockey.
So yeah, I'll give you guys 2 points there. Both of you think that the rise is because of ESPN, even though again it is rising on all networks. But I will count that.
Especially
Yeah. So I will count that as another agreement right off the bat. So let's hit another headline. MLB, probably the biggest headline of the week. Shohei Ohtani just signed a 10-year, $700 million deal with the Los Angeles Dodgers. First and foremost, what label does the franchise now have entering the 2024 season? And we'll obviously get into another question about the details of that contract specifically. Let's just take it at face value for now. What we got, Kyle?
I said.
Okay.
What'd you say?
Okay. Yeah. So,
All right. Yeah.
All right. 1 minute. Agree again.
Okay. Right. Can I start with this?
Yeah.
Not only are they World Series favorites, they should be World Series favorites for multiple years in the next decade.
I agree.
Like, this is a generational signing. Like, this is... There's not a bigger player in the last X amount of years that baseball has seen.
Yeah.
Both, like, commercially and, like, physicality-wise, and how he's a two-way player. They not, like... Sure. But they shouldn't win a title in the next 10 years. They should win multiple, at least 3 or 4.
I agree. And the issue is they didn't have Ohtani in the past, but they were still regarded as one of the best teams in baseball. They've only had 1 World Series championship, and that came in a weird 2020 year. They have to get over the hump. Like, this is it. They have Ohtani. They have arguably the best player in baseball right now, probably one of the best players all time in baseball. And you add him to a lineup with Freeman, Mookie Betts. They have a rotation now, Clayton Kershaw, and they just signed Tyler Glasnow today. If he can stay healthy, this team needs to win a World Series. There's no more excuses for them.
I agree.
And I agree with Kyle. They should have multiple by the time.
Awesome.
Not even just one.
So 3 points. This is a new franchise starting, like, new dynasty happening here. All right, so...
That Brennan to Kyle connection?
Yes, sir.
Well, I was talking about the Dodgers, but okay. Okay, so let's talk about that. Let's talk about the contract. $680 million of Ohtani's contract is being deferred, keeping the contract's present value at an expected $460 million price tag, while allowing LA to sign more expensive players in the short run. With all of the contract details in mind, are there any changes the MLB needs to make regarding salaries, contracts, collective bargaining agreement? What we got?
All right.
I want to see.
Okay.
Ooh.
Okay. Okay. Actually, kind of opposite. All right. I want to hear Kyle first because this is the more basic option here.
Okay, sure. And a lot of people will say this, but like it's year in and year out, and understandably so. We're having like the Dodgers be in the playoffs every year with multiple wins, and the Yankees and the Red. I mean, maybe not this year, but within the last foreseeable past, it's only been a certain concentration of teams that have won majority of the World Series.
Yes.
And as a Pirates fan, Shohei Ohtani's contract is more than the Pirates can expect.
Ever.
And which
I more they've spent in the last 20 years.
Which is absolutely unfair.
All right, and Brennan has another way to solve that, and I think his is also valid.
Salary floor. All right, we talked about the MLB has a soft salary cap, right? Because you have the luxury tax and everything else. What they truly need though is a salary floor. All right, because you see the Ohtani contract, the Dodgers and the Yankees, they're spending so much money in some of these small market teams, and you can't even use the word small market because some of these owners are the richest in baseball. Like the Detroit Tigers owner, he has way more money than the Houston Astros owner, who's producing a World Series contender year after year, and the Tigers are one of the bottom feeders in the entire league. They have been for a while.
All right. So before we start the minute 30 here, you're saying that teams like the Pirates and stuff, they should be forced to spend more money.
Yes.
All right. Let's talk. Which one's more valuable, guys?
I think the salary floor is going to be more valuable because you have the luxury tax, and I think if you overreach a certain amount, it takes away some draft picks. The salary floor is going to be way more beneficial because it's going to allow these rich owners, like the Cleveland Guardians owner, Dolan. He also owns the Knicks. He's the fourth richest owner in baseball, and yet somehow Cleveland is considered a small market baseball team, and they don't spend any money. And Bob Nutting, he's middle of the pack in owners, and he doesn't spend anything.
Jack all,
It's time for these MLB owners to be forced to start spending money and make the game way more competitive. Sure. I know the NHL does, and you see new teams become good every year. I think it's time for MLB to start forcing their owners.
So we're kind of attacking the same dragon here at different ends, I think.
Yeah.
It's that I'm saying there should be a certain amount that each team should spend, and there should be a certain amount that
they have to
spend. And I think, honestly, with the way that the league's going on now, with that humongous deal the humongous deal that Ohtani just signed, I honestly could see that being a more reasonable option than having a minimum spent, than having a max
Because you got to look at the way Ohtani's contract is also set up. Like, he's not making anything right now, so the team can be competitive. So I think the salary floor, and you gotta.
Okay, we're both kind of attacking the same issue. I understand his.
So do we agree on those options, or? Okay,
I think
this is the floor. All right, good job, Brennan. You've given him another compromise. So we got 4 points. Let's move to another question here. Another big headline here. We'll hop back to the NBA, and then we'll talk a little bit about the NFL, I suppose. So, another big headline this week. Draymond Green fully punched Yusuf Nurkic in the face. He has been suspended indefinitely after his third ejection of the season. To what extent should the NBA take responsibility for those kind of actions and denounce this behavior going forward for all players?
All right, I got my answer.
Okay.
I got mine.
Okay, so you guys disagree. Brennan, all right, you can go first.
So, I saw Kyle's answer to a further extent because he's a repeat defender, and I kind of agreed to it. They suspended him indefinitely. You don't know when he's coming back or not, but this is a repeated offense. He's done it multiple times, and I think the NBA's finally had enough of the shenanigans. So, I agree with them for them to suspend Draymond for as long as they did, and any other player. I mean, if you do it once or twice, then that's fine. But if you do it to the extent that Draymond Green has done it, then I think that... So
you don't think anything needs to change about their approach right now?
I don't think so. I think they did the right thing here.
How many games do you think he should be suspended, in reality?
I don't know. I mean, it's been happening for years. At least to the end of the season, maybe more. How long do you think?
All right, let's talk.
I'll talk about
this. All right.
So I don't think he should be done by the end of this year. I think he should be able to return at some point. I think that they're saying that he's going to go through some counseling.
That's good.
But within the last 2 years, we've had the Jordan Poole incident. We had him stopping on Sabonis' chest during the playoffs.
Yeah, I was gonna bring that up.
We had him choking out Rudy Gobert. And we had this incident with
and Steven Adams in the nuts too.
And Adams, apparently. Repeat offender. At some point, he has to learn his lesson. He can't just say, "Oh, this is how I play."
All right,
this is how
minute 30. Let's go.
No, I agree, and I think that's why they suspended him indefinitely for the fact that he did this. And this is a very different situation than off the court issues happening too. Because all of Draymond's incidents that they're suspending him for have been on the court. He's basically been attacking players. Mm-hmm. Right, this isn't the NFL. This isn't the NHL where fighting is allowed. Where he's allowed to do that stuff. And this is the NBA. He needs to be more controlled, and I think they did the right thing.
And the thing with that is that even you want to bring up the argument of like, oh, we can fight in the NHL. Well, there's been years of precedent for that.
Exactly.
There's no precedent of, yeah, we can have players
Let's
fight.
Let's not kick somebody in the nuts.
No, okay. They can have players fight and then they're fine afterwards.
Yeah.
Like, you're going to be suspended, like you had the Dallas stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like, there's no precedent for basketball players assaulting people and then having little to no, like, retribution for it.
See, I think we have the same answer.
Okay, so you think that as long as the NBA does do something toward what Kyle is saying, that we're good?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So okay, cool. Nothing needs to change as long as Draymond is held accountable for a long term. That's 5 points for you guys. All right, let's hit the NFL. A lot of miniature headlines in the NFL this week. As we move into this portion of the season here. So, what was the most important event in the NFL in Week 14, and what was the takeaway that made that so important? Okay.
All right.
Okay, let's hear Kyle first.
Okay. So, look, I shouldn't say that they're frauds. I still think that they absolutely can't compete for a title. But the two biggest teams on their side in the NFC, the San Francisco 49ers and Dallas Cowboys, they beat the Cowboys in a pretty good game earlier in the season, but then they got blown out by the 49ers, like, at every stage of the game. Like, they got destroyed. And then they went into Philly and they scored, Dallas's kicker scored more points than the Eagles did on offense. So, you gotta, at some point, you're gonna give what is the issue here? We know we have Jalen Hurts turning the ball over at a historic rate. I'm not sure what the issue is.
Okay.
All right. I don't think I've seen a position group outside of a quarterback affect their team more than the Chiefs wide receivers in 2023. I mean, I'm sorry. That offsides where that wiped out arguably one of the best plays in NFL history. That was, one, as a Bills fan, that was hilarious because that's a game Sean McDermott loses. But second, as a general NFL fan, that sucks. I mean, Kadarius Toney, he is awful. I don't know. He should have been released the following day. But it's not just Kadarius Toney. It's every receiver on that team. Even Travis Kelce has 33 drops.
All right, minute 30. Biggest takeaway: Chiefs wide receivers suck or Eagles are frauds.
I come pretty firm on my position, honestly.
I can probably get behind your position. I mean,
so are there any other takeaways or things similar that you can talk about then that you can reach a compromise on?
I don't know. Part of me is I do fully 100% agree with Kyle here. I think he agrees with me. I'm pretty confident.
So I understand that the Chiefs' receiving core is not very good, and we had the excuses of Kadarius Toney being a full yard offside on that play, but some of the best guys in the league have done it with some of the worst receivers. Like you want to go back.
That's true. But what the Chiefs did on Sunday is what the Buffalo Bills have been doing this entire season on offense.
Sure.
Which is make Patrick Mahomes do everything. And we've seen, that's why the Bills haven't been able to get over the hump in any year that they've had Josh Allen. It's because they're relying on him too much, and they always fall off and lose close games. All right, the Chiefs showed that you need weapons around a legitimate quarterback.
Travis Kelce's pretty good.
Travis Kelce's he's talking about retirement. Now, if they kept Tyreek Hill instead of Travis Kelce,
absolutely,
it's a very, very different team.
But I think more critically, some of the best guys in the league historically have done it with not the greatest options in ever.
All right, no agreement then. Kyle stuck to his guns.
I think the Eagles are more of an issue right now than the Chiefs.
Do you want to concede? Do you want to concede or no? Because
I was ready to fully concede until he said that the Eagles were a bigger issue than the Chiefs.
All right,
I think the Chiefs.
I think the Chiefs always find a way.
It's two.
The Chiefs
they just lost the 1 seed in the AFC. Patrick Mahomes might have to go on the road.
All right, ladies.
I trust Mahomes to do that pretty easily.
All right.
He's never played on the road in the playoffs.
We're sticking on 5 agreements.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Wow.
All right, we're sticking on 5 agreements, and we're also sticking in the NFL. All right, we have reached the point of the season where Saturday games are happening, and we had 2 Thursday night football games last week. With these kind of changes that happen in the league season, what, if anything, needs to change about their consistent format, their typical weekly schedule format?
I don't know if this is like.
I think I get what you mean.
Okay.
But what does yours even say, Kyle? What is this font that you're writing in?
All right.
That's pretty legible, I think.
Oh my gosh! All right. I wanted to hear Brennan first because his is a lot more tame.
All right. You got to stop giving every team a Thursday, or not a Thursday night game, a primetime game. All right. This is the biggest reason for all these bad primetime games this year, is because every team I think is required to have at least one. All right. And the biggest hurt. The game that's being most hurt by this is the Thursday night game. I mean, we saw it last night, we saw it we saw it last week with the Steelers and the Patriots, and we saw it the week before, I think, with another set of really bad teams. So it's just too bad, and you can't have these bad teams like the Carolina Panthers and the Chicago Bears getting multiple primetime games this year unless there's a storyline around it. But I think this solves so many of the NFL's issues around the...
And Kyle has a different solution. Kyle, what is your solution?
I think we should go to the Thursday night games. I think, aside from Thanksgiving, obviously, because that is the tradition, I think we have, within the last few years, that's... You're only working on 4 days between the game you play on Sunday and then the game you play on Thursday. And that increases player injuries, that minimizes time you have to prepare for teams in the future, and we've seen that. We saw that last night with the Chargers and the Raiders. I don't think any player in the league is a fan of it.
All right,
entirely.
Let's talk.
All right, just because.
And honestly, I kind of disagree with you.
All right. Well, we'll get into that later. If the NFL gets rid of Thursday night games, then my entire business on social media.
That's fair.
I'm gonna have to be a huge anti-Thursday. Friday night games. Are you proposing Friday night games? You can't see the problem.
Better than Thursday.
The problem with that though is the NFL schedules around other big football events. But at the beginning of the year, once everything else is done, then they move into these other days of the week. Because Friday, during the NFL season, you got Friday Night Lights, high school football. All right? That's a huge market, especially
I think a lot of
where we live in Pittsburgh. Friday Night Lights.
But I think people would be more willing to go to a Steelers game on a Friday night than their high school game. I think.
I don't know. Personally, it's a huge market in many parts of the United States.
I understand the
Saturday you got college. The NFL can't.
I understand that because that
and you got NFL Sundays. You got NFL Mondays. All right. I think Thursday night is a huge game for the NFL. A little bit of a preview to a week, and I do want to make it very clear that I agree with you on the points that it increases player injury and it gives them less time to prepare, because those are all very true. But at the same time, I think it's just so ingrained into the NFL now that teams are preparing for it. And I don't think the NFL, and it wouldn't be a great thing marketing-wise either to get rid of Thursday night, especially with the amount of money they're making from Amazon Prime.
Yeah.
All right. That's no agreement. So even though Brennan does agree with all of the points you brought up, he says that it's still fine, basically.
Yeah.
And you just don't agree with anything he said.
Because I think teams, no matter how bad they are, they should get.
I see the Chicago Bears on primetime. I had to cover two.
Someone might.
We're sticking.
I doubt Bears.
I my family are Bears fans.
I doubt Bears fans want to see them on primetime.
All right, we're sticking at 5 agreements. Okay, let's go. This is our last question here. And I'm doing one that I like because it's fun. All right. The NHL announced some changes to their All-Star festivities this past week. What do you think would be the best change possible for All-Star games across all North American sports leagues? To be clear, the NHL changed their skills challenge to be a little tournament thing. Yeah. It's kind of exciting. All right. What do you have? Get rid of it. I get very different. Let's start with the extremists first. Kyle.
I think at every measure, the NBA, the NHL, or the NFL, everything, I think they got to get rid of it entirely. Because we saw. Look, with the NFL, however many years ago, I believe there was some sort of incentivization, there was a cash prize, whatever, if you want it. It was in Hawaii, so you could bring your family out to the Pro Bowl, and it was all nice. But now they made it flag football. I mean, let's be honest here. No one wants to watch that. No one wants to watch flag football. I'm sorry. And then we talk about the NBA, where the players aren't playing any defense in the actual game, and they're not doing anything. And they've tried to do
So Brennan thinks that very differently.
First of all, I think everything is fine. Well, first of all, I think the 4 major sports are way too different to generalize the All-Star games into like one specific area need to change. All right, like because you brought up the Pro Bowl. The Pro Bowl is very different from the MLB All-Star game, and you said there's no stakes in it. In the MLB All-Star game, the winner of the All-Star game, I believe, gets home field or the team gets home field advantage for the World Series. So there is incentive there. So if like the American League win from the American League team gets advantage for the World Series.
Okay.
The Pro Bowl is extremely different from everything else because of the physicality of it. I mean, if you want to get rid of the Pro Bowl, I could get behind that. But if you want to get rid of the MLB All-Star game,
they got rid of
the All-Star game, and the NBA All-Star game,
so your mid-30s here. You want to get rid of it. You don't want to do anything. What is a change that you guys think can happen that would be good for everything?
I don't know. I don't know what you want me to say.
You said you liked the MLB thing, so why can't you just change that with the Pro Bowl?
Because it's supposed to be the best athletes in each sport doing their best.
I think you're looking at
doing it.
And
because why would they want to risk it?
And I don't watch hockey, so I don't know. If
hockey, there's the same thing as the NBA. If they don't care,
I'm not a big baseball guy. I know the baseball team tries, and I get it with hockey. It's a little bit too physical. The NBA, they don't play defense because they want to get those numbers up. They want to put up points.
And they want to go home. They want to fly out from wherever they are.
But I think the All-Star game, it's a very good thing in American sports. It's a tradition like no other. If you do want to get rid of anything, get rid of
I agree with that.
But I don't really think anything needs to change with the All-Star game. It's not like what it was break for players. Usually it's in a great area.
If it's a break for players, then why are they playing?
Because they're the best in their league and they want to represent them.
Oh my gosh.
Well, we stuck on 5 points for those last 3 questions here. So even though you guys had a really good start, you still need to start working as a team a little bit more. And we have 2 minutes to see if your gut instinct is going to agree.
Oh, boy.
All right. And by the way, I only have 5 speed round questions here. But the way speed round works, 2 minutes. And I'll take my time asking the questions. But we do need those answers immediately from you guys. Just verbally. So, are you both ready?
I'm ready.
And if you don't get those 5 points at the end, then next episode or on the TikTok and the Instagram, you will be punished. Okay. So your 2 minutes starts now. Your first question, bigger loss for Washington, D.C., the Wizards or the Capitals?
Capitals.
Yeah.
Okay,
Capitals.
That's 6. Do you think Draymond Green intentionally punched Yusuf Nurkic in the face?
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Okay, 7 points. All right, now it's getting harder. Best holiday-themed drink?
Eggnog.
Oh, my God. That was my first instinct.
I bet that was, yeah. All right, then we agree.
All right, candy. That's holiday candy.
I don't even know.
Candy cane?
I was going to say candy cane. That's the only one I can think of.
Is that your favorite? Do you like candy canes?
I enjoy it.
I mean, what else is there?
What about those like Hershey chocolates and stuff? Those like different.
You can eat Hershey chocolate.
I was saying like Christmas
Hershey's Kisses.
Okay, so we're agreeing on candy canes. All right, and you need 1 more point. Do you guys like the new Jack Harlow song?
No, it's awful. It's really bad.
I haven't listened.
No, you've heard it. You've heard it on TikTok, but you definitely
is it.
I'm not going to attempt to sing it, but it is not great. The Louisville boy is not
I mean, he doesn't know, so I'm not going to count that. Let's think of something else here that we can talk about. Do we like being in person more than we like being virtually, guys?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. You got 10 points. Even though there were some heated things happening today, we all came together in the Christmas spirit, and we had 10 points.
I love Santa.
Thanks for being here, guys. This was fun.
Thank you for being a great host.
I did my best. I couldn't get the TV thing to work because I don't want it to be loud and play on videos.
Just leave it.
So here's what it is. Preview for next week. We're gonna have a little bit of a secret Santa happening here, where all of us are gonna write questions, and then we're gonna open them up, and it'll be exciting, and we'll find out who the moderator is on any given question, and we'll go. And then, as Brennan teased on the Instagram, 2 weeks we have a special guest.
Yes, stay tuned for that.
Not super special.
No, just
not like
but he gives a very different,
friend of the podcast.
A very
friend of the podcast.
Very different perspective from what we have. So it'll be very exciting stuff. Yeah. Stay tuned and listen on all platforms. Hopefully we can get Apple Music up soon.
Yes, sir.
And we'll be good to go. All right. Have a great rest of your day.
Merry Christmas.
We're signing off.